Hi, this is Alex's Log. I'm Alex Nagy. This is the 2nd of March, 2012. So, today's the 3rd? Oh, today's the 3rd of March, 2012. Apparently, I forgot about it, the 2nd being yesterday. My bad. There's no video from yesterday because I had some issues with the Logitech QuickCam software. Apparently, it did not record, and I spent about half an hour talking to myself, so I am here today, getting ready, for heading to the hospital next week Tuesday, and getting ready for Sunday. Sunday's going to be interesting. It'll be the second time I've delivered a message, but only the first time in such a public setting. So it'll be interesting, and it's going to spread out all over the internet because we upload our sermons to YouTube once we've got the audio and video all matched up together. So thank Brendan for that. He's our video guy. After church, though, we got a double party to go to. One of them is a surprise, so it'll be interesting to see how the second person reacts. He don't particularly care for birthdays, so today I got a treat for you. Meet Goliath. He's one of our puppies. He's the smallest of the three. Him and his sister have an interesting parentage. Their dad is a purebred Jack Russell Terrier, and their mom is a pit bull boxer mix. His sister's kind of crazy, but she's just really lovable and excitable. She looks more like a Jack Russell than he does. I think he's as big as he's ever going to get. He's just a lovable puppy. He's quiet, and that's the only thing he gets excited about is food. So he's a lovable puppy. He's our only indoor dog. Our other dog is another interesting mix. His dad was a full-blood black lab, and his mom was some sort of mutt that we don't know about. We do know he has some chow in him, though, because he's got purple spotting on his tongue. So that's about the only other breed that we know that's in him. But he looks almost exactly like his dad's. Not quite as broad, but just as muscular. And we've actually got him on just about the heaviest chain you can buy, and a heavy-duty hook, because he breaks everything else. Because he pulls and tugs at his chain all day long, especially when there's cars going by. He's a strong dog. Knocks my wife over almost every time she goes out there, plays with him or whatever. It's kind of funny. But he's actually pretty good on a leash. I've got him to the point where, at least for me, he doesn't pull. So I can walk, and he'll be walking along in front of me, and there's a good deal of slack in the leash. So, and I don't know if you heard that, my wife's playing a sliding block puzzle on her laptop. I helped her fix her keyboard on her laptop today, and she's so happy about it. So she's just having fun on her laptop now. I'm glad we were able to get that fixed. That's something that's been not working or working intermittently since before we got together. So yay for new keyboards. So I've been working with Open Video Editor. I've been working on putting in transitions. And I'm going to work on putting in a title page as soon as I get some additional software downloaded that it needs to render those frames. So as soon as I can get that done, Hopefully I'll have some, more interesting looking video instead of just suddenly starting, can transition into the video, which I'm sure will be nice. And transition out, have title frame, maybe have some closing credits, even though it's just me. Just make it look a little more well done. And as I get better using Open Video, I've got a camera that can take video. I've got some stuff I want to take videos of up on my desk, or I'll go get one of them. Put the puppy down. Probably can't see this very well. This is a solderless breadboard. As you can see, it's from 3M, and on it is a circuit I designed and created myself. It is a bicycle. It's going to be it's the unfinished version of a bicycle turn signal. One side left, one side right. There's 9 LEDs per signal. So there is plenty of light when I actually do get it built, because I do plan on getting an enclosure for it that is weather resistant. It's going to be battery powered. Still haven't decided if I'm going to use NiCads or not to make it. But I imagine I could use NiCads or alkalines. It don't really matter, I guess. You can interchange them, just can't use, NiCad and alkaline. That don't work very well. I'm thinking of making if I do make a battery pack for it. Well, the plug's right behind you, honey. And if I do make it a NiCad battery pack, I'm thinking of making a charge port where I can bring the whole unit into house and charge it instead of carrying. That way I could seal it up all except for the charge port. Not exactly sure how I'll do that though. I have to talk to some people, do some searching online. Shouldn't be too difficult. And I can put a switch, I can put a kill switch, a weatherproof kill switch, so I can keep power from going to the rest of the circuit while I'm charging the batteries. It shouldn't be that hard. NiCad trickle, I can get a trickle charger from hobby shops, though it might be a little expensive to find them, because I know a lot of RC cars are moving to lithium ion and lithium polymer batteries, and it's a whole different charging system than what was used for NiCad. If nothing else, my dad's got a trickle charger he don't use anymore, and maybe I can borrow it off of him every now and then. So that's pretty much the only circuit I can claim I designed 100% from scratch. I did have help from my classmates. I made that when I was going to school, studying industrial electricity. The way the class is set up, the teacher teaches both electronics and industrial electricity in the same class. So you got a mix of students. So when I was designing that, when I got the idea for it, I got help from my classmates. I went online. I got help from some folks on the website forum. Got feedback, and the final design is going to be copy free. So I mean, anybody who wants to use it can just give me credit for making it. That's all I ask. Eventually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to put the schematics out there with a parts list for what I used. I got my LEDs from SuperBrightLED.com, and I got my capacitors from Teda Electronics and Allied Electronics. I had to go to the two different places because Allied, I believe, had the smaller capacitors that I needed, and Teda had the bigger ones. Neither site had both sizes that I need. So, and I already had the resistors, and I got the 555 timer, because that is using a 555 timer to control the rate of blank on the LEDs. It's a pretty high voltage design though. It's a 12 volt design. I'm kind of worried about it being so high. I could it'd probably be easy to do two 9 volts, and it wouldn't hurt nothing. All the components in there are the capacitors are rated for up to 50 volts, and the only thing I'd be worried about would be the 555 timer, but it's only drawn on. It's only having 12 volts drawn to it. Still kind of worried about supplying it with 18 though. That's why I'm having problems with the batteries. Trying to figure out a way to do the batteries. My instructor suggested I get a 12 volt lead acid battery, like you can find in the your backup power units. Your uninterruptible power supplies. I'm kind of worried about that, using something like that, but because they're going to be big and bulky, and it's going to throw the center of gravity off on the bicycle. And mountain's also going to be a problem. Plus, they weigh about 5-6 pounds. That's extra weight on the bicycle. I'm trying to avoid having extra weight, but what I'm looking at, using if I use NiCads or even alkalines. Unless I use the 9 volt squares on the alkalines, I'm gonna have a huge battery compartment, and definitely if I use double A's, I definitely would have to go with rechargeables, because it'd just be too expensive to replace that many alkalines. Each alkaline does 1.5 volts. You figure it out, and you've got. So 12. You're looking at 8 batteries. If you do them all in series, and if you do them all in series, you're looking at something like 1,500 milliamp hours. Which shouldn't be too much of a problem, because it's blinking, it's not constant, and it's not on all the time. So that should provide plenty of life. But I'd have to do some experiments there with the fully charged batteries and time how long they lasted on a full charge with just leaving one of the signals on, just letting it blink, 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 blink until the batteries are dead. So I would like to make a kit out of it and sell the kit online. I'm thinking once I get mine built and I get all this stuff figured out, I'll call somebody like Allied or Tata or Jameco or Newark, or one of those places, and see if they'd be willing to help me make a kit out of this. Tell them where I got my parts from, how much, because I got into schematics, all the part numbers, how much each part costs, the per unit cost. It's just a matter of getting it all together and putting it together as a kit. And I think I'd probably have the most luck with Allied Electronics. There's no guarantee, of course, but I'm sure something could be worked out. It'd be a nice little source of income. If it was popular, or even just mildly popular. If nothing else, I can say I've got something that I made out on the market being sold. So one way or the other, I get the cool factor out of it, and that's that's good enough for me for the most part. So, a little bit of bragging rights or something, I don't know. But, I got a pretty decent bicycle. I blew out the front tire last week or something like that. I was, pumping up the tires because they'd lost air, and this is the first time they'd been pumped up in probably almost a year. Maybe even longer than that. And I was going to pump them up to the max PSI. As I was pumping up the front one, just before I got it to max PSI, the tube blew. It's like, okay, so I'm going to go at minimum PSI on the rear tire just to keep it pumped up, and eventually I'll have to buy new tubes for both of them if they're that bad where I can't get them, can't even get them, can't get them up to max PSI. I'd like to get them, keep them. I should probably have kept them pumped up, anyways, but now the front one's just gonna have to stay flat. So hopefully when my arm heals up, my bike will be still be in good enough condition where I can go ride it without investing too much money and getting it ready to ride. Right now the chain and back gears are looking pretty rusty. So I figure take it to a bicycle shop or something, get the rust knocked off, and grease up the chain and gears, get that taken care of, and should be good. It's a nice bike. It's a Schwinn. I've got it registered with Schwinn. Got the serial number recorded, got the owner's manual in the house. So don't try and steal it, because I will report it stolen, and I got all the information I need to successfully recover the bike. So, but I don't know why the Logitech QuickCam software didn't record yesterday, and I tried several other times, tried recording, just do short little clips to test it, see what was going on. And the only thing I could figure is I needed to restart the computer, so I restarted the computer, bit it back into Windows, and I did a quick test record before this to make sure it recorded. It's working just fine. So, go figure. As you can see, I have shaved off or trimmed back my facial hair. I need to shave it off completely though for tomorrow. So I'll probably keep the mustache up because it don't look that bad. So I'm actually surprised I still got my eyebrows. They haven't been pulling out, surprisingly enough. Well, okay, they have been, but they still look pretty decent. But chest hair started falling out. Noticed that the other day. But I figure Tuesday, once I start treatment on Tuesday, it's all bets off. I wouldn't doubt it if by the end of the day I was totally bald. I'm sure it won't work like that, but oh man, everything I hear, people telling me is I'm going to feel like I got hit by a train wreck by this drug, methotrexate. And so I'm probably not going to be feeling too good, and I probably won't record too much while I'm in the hospital and in Nashville. But I will be taking the webcam with me, so I'll at least try to get some clips together and string them together throughout the day, since I can transition through clips and edit the clips. I can just stick something together, insert some transition titled things like several hours later. While I'm in the hospital, they probably won't nearly be as long as what I've been doing here at home. When I return home, I'm going to try to return to doing them on my desktop so I can do longer, but that's just going to be dependent on how good I feel. Because after the cisplatin and adriamycin, just by themselves, I was feeling pretty rough for a couple of days. And with the methotrexate, 2 weeks of that, and then cisplatin and adriamycin after that, there's just, I'll probably be pretty haggard. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple of days that I went without recording this video log. So, but it's gonna be an interesting spring. It's gonna be an interesting spring, that's for sure. It's already been an interesting winter. I don't know. Here in Tennessee, the weather's been really wonky. I mean, all through December and January and February, we've had very mild winters. A lot of days were even spring-like. We've had daffodils and bushes, start sprouting and blooming, and it's I could take a couple of pictures, but now it's March, so everybody expects flowers in March and grain in March, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm surprised more of the trees haven't put out their leaves, but I imagine they're more dependent on the angle of the incoming light, how much light they're receiving, and not just the warmth. So plants are crazy things. When I took biology at Motlow, which is a little community college, or used to be a community college, now they've got 4-year programs now, so I don't know if that makes them a junior college or what. But when I went, it was still a community college, and all they had were 2-year programs that were meant to take you in. Most of them were meant to take you into a 4-year degree, to finish off at another institution, like Middle Tennessee State or Tennessee Technological University, UT even, so just it all depends on what you want it to do. But anyways, when I went there, I had a biology teacher, Miss Lipchinsky, and maybe it wasn't Miss Lipchinsky, it was the guy I had for biology after her. Anyways, one of them were just got talking about plants and all the crazy stuff you can do. They'll do just to. It's just you just look out there though, and they're right. Plants will do the craziest things. You got daffodils blooming in February. What kind of craziness is that? Don't they know any better? It's winter still. That's okay. I've got some canna lilies that have been poking up, and they look like they're about ready to start a good long growing season. I've got them in a good location. I got them in a plastic container for right now. I think eventually I might take them out of that and put them in the ground somewhere, since it looks like this is going to be a long-term living situation for me, which is good. Good for my wife and I. I don't like moving around. I imagine she don't either. So it's nice and quiet and peaceful. You get the occasional car going by every now and then. Nothing like living in the country, huh? So we're gonna put out a garden. The people who lived here before us, they left behind some flooring from what looked like a shed. I'm not exactly sure how the floor got left behind, but we're going to flip that over and fill that with dirt, because the dirt around here is that orange clay stuff. Not really good for growing stuff, anything in it except for grass. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to fill this flooring up with dirt. She's wanting to maybe add another layer to the another to build up the box a little, make it a little deeper, which makes perfect sense to me. So we fill that all up with some good dirt and give it some drainage. Though the extra water should just soak through the wood, so that shouldn't really be a big deal. I still might bore a couple holes in it though, and that'll be our little garden plot. As funny as that sounds, gonna try for a couple different things, mostly vegetables and edible stuff. We can just I don't care about planting flowers in the clay. Just put some potting soil around it when you plant the flower, and you're good to go. So, but not really much else to say or talk about, I guess. Just like I said, packing up stuff for now, and just if nothing else, just if those of you who believe God and prayer, I ask please pray for us. And pray for my wife. Of course, I'd appreciate any prayer, but I've got so many people praying for me. I think maybe sometimes I forget about my wife. She's affected she's as affected by this as I am. She's the one who's having to take time off work so she can be with me and help take care of me. So I guess that's all for today. Talk to you later. Take care and God bless.